Thank you. Gee, folks, this man has supported us for many, many, many years. Not only us, the environment, and a whole heap of things. He's a great Australian, and we greatly appreciate your support. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can we please welcome the microphone, Mr. Bob Brown.
Thank you. I honour the 60,000 years of human history in this great land of ours, which we all share, but we don't all honour. We're in an ancient continent which drifted from Gondwana hundreds of millions of years ago, and only in the last blink of the eyelid has had we human beings upon it. And yet, being what we are, it's hard to imagine back that 40 or 60,000 years when the first of our kith and kin settled this continent. And that great history, which may have had other waves of people coming during the ice ages to this land to settle and establish what is now known around the world as the longest intact human culture to be celebrated on the face of the planet. It did not begin 226 years ago. It began 40 or 60,000 years ago. And Australia Day, celebrating Invasion Day, which has ended with such brutality, dispossession, loss of culture and destruction that most of us cannot but try to imagine, is not the day that this nation should celebrate. The day we should observe, but not the date this nation should celebrate. Let me just say this, that in the civil war which followed Invasion Day, just on this island of Tasmania, more than 200 whites were killed and more than 1,000 Aborigines directly killed. That's not counting the thousands who died from the attendant sickness and disease brought here. That's more people killed in the Civil War on this island than at Lone Pine in Gallipoli. And yet, it's not in our history books, it's not in our consciousness, it's not something that we recognise. And all we can say is this, that none of us who are of that later wave of immigration can be anything but hollow Australians until we face and honour our own history and relegate the Howard view of black armband history to mythology. Because what that represents is turning back on reality when we as full and complete human beings need to own who we are and what came before us. Should we have an Australia Day? I reckon a day we could all celebrate. I've thought about maybe the 15th of May, back in '67, when Australians overwhelmingly voted for Aborigines to get the vote, but that was simply righting a wrong. Maybe the 1st of July, Midwinter's Day, when the High Court, in the wake of a campaign in which Aboriginal power in Tasmania was central to save the Franklin River back in 1983. But again, that was preventing another environmental disaster which should never have been contemplated. Why not celebrate something that comes from the land itself? The first day of spring, the 1st of September. It's recognised as Wattle Day, the day of green and gold. But it has us at least going back to what we all owe our wealth, our happiness, our history to, and that is the land, the earth itself, that culture which was dispossessed which we all need as best we can to regain. So there it is. The date will change. The crowds get bigger each Australia Day, wanting to alter that day so that we can really celebrate. The options are there. Maybe it'll take a referendum because the people have to be behind it. And with it will come a recognition of sovereignty, and after that long, fractious war from 1788 through to at least 1938, a treaty to recognise for all of us a coming together in who we are. So let's have Australia Day, but not on Invasion Day. Let's have a day we can all celebrate, every one of us who's come here, whose ancestors came here in the last 60 years of this wonderful land's history. Thank you.